What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Better. I am Jay, your host, as always. I should get a co-host. What do you think? A female co-host? Maybe? That'd be a good idea. We are always trying to make the world a better place. And we do these episodes called Jay and Chris Save the World. And it's where we pick subjects and we talk about them, ways to make the world a better place. Sometimes we get heated. Sometimes we make jokes. Sometimes we make fun of each other. Sometimes it goes way off the rails, like the last one. It's supposed to be about 30 minutes. We went 56 minutes or something like that. But at the end of the day, we always figure out whether we're going to make the world a better place or not with our ideas. So today's is going to be all about gratitude. I have no idea how we're going to be talking about this. This was Chris's subject, and I'm very interested. So this is one of those episodes where I know nothing about before we get on the air, which is probably a bad thing for me, but at the same time, fun for you guys. So let's talk about how we can make the world a better place through making gratitude better. I don't know how to do the intro.
Welcome to Better, the podcast about doing better, being better, and leaving the world a better place than we found it.
And here we are. How do you like that beat, by the way?
Like it.
See, I do. I like it, but is it right for this podcast?
Probably not, but it's fun. In the old days when we just did Chris and Jay Save the World, it was fun for that, I think.
Yeah,
like it fits that.
Yeah, well, that was, we started this with SPP, right? And that was a totally different beat. That was a hard hip hop beat, okay. But that one was a kind of a hard show.
Right.
I'm thinking about changing it up. I'm thinking about doing like a 2025 new rebrand and everything.
Love it.
Because like this text here, which you guys can't see, is do better. I knew, like, I got this new text, these wonderful little things on the wall, and you guys almost never see them unless I'm doing a solo episode. But I think the font needs to be softer, the beat needs to be softer, just something a little nicer.
Yeah, there's some serious stuff and some lighter stuff. It's great.
Cool. All right. So you were the host, de facto host today, because I have zero idea how we're doing this. Take it away, host Chris.
So the other day we were texting. You're on a trip. I just got back from some
great trip.
I heard pictures looked amazing.
Here.
And I said, we haven't gotten together. Let's do a quick podcast one of these days. And you said, you pick a day and I'll make it happen. We chose today. You said, I'm going to talk about the interwebs and let's make it better. What are you going to talk about? And I thought about it and I said, what have I really appreciated lately in my life and how's it changed my life? And then how could we translate that into making the world a better place? And I came up with gratitude.
I'm seeing where this is going now. Okay. All right.
So I started thinking and I made a couple notes. So society has become more and more entitled and lazy. Probably agree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've talked about how society is going downhill. People find it easier to complain and be offended than make a change in their life. Right?
Yep.
They expect you
change is hard.
100%.
Principle of this whole website, being better requires you. James Patrick Stewart said this. He liked the idea and the question I gave him because that being better requires you to look inward and it requires you to admit to yourself that you need to improve on something. 100%. And most people can't do that. Agreed.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if people had more mindfulness. So we're truly cognizant of ourselves and our surroundings, then the more aware that you'd be, and no, not aware like woke like you. Aware meaning that you're able to notice the good around you in people, in life, how much better life would be for everyone. So I started thinking, and I recently was reading a book on the law of attraction, and I'm a firm believer in those things, and what I put out is going to come back, and that's how I try to live my life. And I started talking to a few people that are close to me about these things, and people are like, oh, like, how do I put that out there? How do I go about doing these things? How do I show more gratitude? Because if I said, there's a couple of funny exercises. I have a few kids, teenagers, so it's really fun to talk to them about things. So there's a really cool exercise, and it says, I'm going to describe this to you, and I'll get you to think about it. I'll get you guys to think about it while I say it, okay?
Okay.
So imagine, this is an actual experiment that I watched, and it blew my mind. Okay. So imagine we're sitting down, you've never met me, and I say, pick someone in your life that has truly helped shape who you are today. Okay. One person. Now, here's a pen and paper. Write a letter to that person. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I give you time. You write that letter. You say, is your letter done? Awesome. How do you feel about it? You thinking of what you're thankful for automatically is now rewiring your brain and making you a happier person, right?
Yeah.
So science says it, it's out there. Okay.
Okay.
Now, one step further, here's a phone. Call that person right now and you're going to read them your letter. People freaked out. They're like, what? And like, no one's used to sharing information. So again, information, communication, it's one of the biggest problems we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love you as a buddy. Do I tell you I love you as a buddy? Probably not enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how nice would it feel for me to call you and just say, just calling, I want to tell you I love you as a buddy. I feel like you'd smile. You'd be a little bit worried maybe because you're weird like that. But
yeah, I don't know if I can handle that.
Would be excited and feel good.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right? So people went through this exercise and they're crying, calling somebody because it's so amazing. The people on the phone are like, can't believe you felt this way. I never knew. Again, it just, you're sharing your gratitude with people. Not only is it making someone else feeling great, you're feeling great. And this is one example, right? So again, in a relationship, what can you do to show more gratitude, right? So typically we're on the side that probably goes overboard sometimes with sharing how much we love somebody. Where
I have something to contribute to this actually.
Okay. So
keep going.
So Val and I, we write we keep a little love diary. So after a day we haven't talked, it was busy for me, it was busy for her, whatever it is, we'll write a little love note in there. We date it. We have a whole diary of it. So we could go back throughout the years and look and say, hey, remember 3 years ago? And we'd read it and it's really cute, all those things. But
right.
When I get home,
is that a physical thing or physical? Okay.
Yeah. And they talk about, even in the law of attraction, again, there's more power in you physically writing things out. People keep a gratitude diary. And what does that look like? You say thanks. So the fun exercise when I was talking about, even with the kids, was, tell me something that you're thankful for. And if I said to you, give me a list of 5 things. Okay. You're going to say Shauna, you're going to say me, you're going to say all these things.
I'm going to say you. You're my top 5.
I'm just assuming, but
okay.
You're going to say these things. You may be able to say 5. You may only be able to say 2. Everyone's different, right? There's people out there then that go a step further and they're like, give me 50. And like, could you do 50? Like, our brains are not typically wired to think that way. If I said, tell me 50 things you hate about life right now, you'll come up with 100.
Everybody, yeah.
Right? Everybody can complain about it.
Yeah.
But how do you rewire your brain to think? So now when you're having a shitty day and you're sad and you're like, I miss Shauna, she's working, whatever it is, you start thinking about the great things that you have and how lucky you are. It pulls you out of the funk that much quicker, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, this is something that we should be teaching each other. We should be sharing this information because it's going to make you better and it's going to make everyone in your life better. Everyone becomes better. The world better.
I agree.
Okay.
And I have a real world example from yesterday that reinforces your point. So you were making fun of it. Shauna posted a picture of me. It was me in my cowboy hat sitting in the chair. Okay. And she was like, always helps me with new experiences, gets me on my box or whatever, right? And I can't remember exactly what she worded because I was trying to go back, but the story is gone on my end. So I saw it and I just went by it, right? And then I was laying in bed. Was this last night? Wednesday. This is Wednesday. I was laying in bed and I was like, wait a second. So I went back and looked at her stories. I looked at it again. I was like, I realized I skipped past it because it made me uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable. And then I wrote her this. I said, this is super subtle and I almost missed what this means. You must really love me to make this post. I almost missed it because I don't think anyone's ever done that for me before. A declaration of love, meaning putting it out there for everybody to see. Words of affirmation for acts of service, as it were. So I'm a words of affirmation. That's my love language. Hers is acts of service. And it was my act of service taking her to Montana and exposing her to what Montana had to offer. She gave me back words of affirmation. And I said, when we're on, we're fucking on. We both just proved we understand each other's love language is pretty rad. So I felt like in that moment, it made me super uncomfortable that she did it because I'm not used to it at all.
Yep.
Like, you've met my exes. Not a lot of them would be like, I love you in public, or like thankful for you or anything like that. And yeah, so it did. I skipped it because I was uncomfortable. I came back to it because it was nagging at me, right? I'm like, there's something more there. I don't know what it is. So I read it. It's like, oh, that's interesting. And then I got kind of like a little emotional over it, right? I was like, wow, this is exactly what she keeps reinforcing that's exactly what I wanted in my life, right? You know, so yeah, I agree.
So relationships, huge difference. Again, proof right there.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. I would challenge you, like, think back. I know we've talked about the past, and like there's been a teacher that's shit on you, told you you're going to be a piece of shit for your whole life, and you've grown up to not be a piece of shit. So like, way to go.
Well.
Right? Depending who we ask.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, again, like, how powerful is that that you had that person tell you that, right? So again, we could look at it and say they could have ruined your life, or it could have motivated you, and now the person you are today, you owe them a thank you for that, right? And imagine going one step further now when you see them saying, you know, you told me this and it affected me, and just so you know, this is what happened. Or not that you're proving anyone wrong or right or anything like that, but
well, there's something to that, because when I had English class in Sanford Collegiate, Mrs. Danshura, she'd always make us do poetry.
Okay.
I'd always write about death.
Yep.
I know. Dark kid, depressed a little bit, I think. And she used to get on me about it. Everybody rolled their eyes. The whole class would be like, ridiculous. What a loser, you know? And then I went to Oak Park, and I had this other teacher who I'm not going to name because him and I have had a conversation, and he just wants to be under the radar, so I'm not going to mention it. But he do poetry. I did something about death. Some people were like, but he pulled me aside after, and he was like, the subject matter a little dark, but the writing really good. And I found that Mrs. Danshura shitting on me affected me in that it was like, now I was internalizing my writing, getting a little better in spite of what she said. And then now I look back at the Oak Park time, and I'm like, inspired me because, yeah. And at the time, somebody pulling you aside and saying like, good job, or I really like you, or I really like what you did. Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with that stuff.
Interesting.
It's hard for me.
Well, so it's funny because even now, like with cell phones and things are where you're not comfortable with human interaction as much as say 50 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And if I said pick 3 random people that you have not talked to in the last few months and send them a text message and just say, you know what? I was just thinking of you. I wanted to say hello. You were on my mind. I hope all is well.
I don't know if I could do that.
And tough exercise. And again, I challenge you to think of it and do it and watch how people react to this. Like, again, amazing.
Yeah.
And that's just with a text message. Never mind. Now go a step further and call someone.
Yeah.
Hey, there's going to be people out there that are, you're weird for calling me. Did something happen? I haven't talked to you lately, whatever.
Yeah. Somebody die.
But someone else is going to be like, that means a lot. Like, I can't believe you took time out of your day because you're thinking of me. Right. And there's all these little things that add up to big things. Right.
See, and to reinforce your point even further, I would like to not feel awkward with that kind of stuff. But the only reason why I do is because almost nobody ever does it.
Yeah.
And I've had very little of it in my life. So it's like, it makes my skin crawl.
And Val and I have this debate because she's also on the shy side, quiet side. So for her, like, easy to send a text, but if she had to call someone and have a conversation, going to be a little bit tougher, especially if it's awkward. And for most people, this is awkward, right?
Yeah.
For me to say, I haven't hung out with you lately, I miss you. Like, clearly I'm not trying to be romantic, and it doesn't need to be. People's brains go that way.
Yeah,
of
course.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you're not used to feeling loved, whatever it is. Ultimately, again, it's just a great feeling of gratitude.
Yeah, you know, even like so like the other day, I don't know why I was thinking about him, but I was like, I wonder what Bryce is up to these days, you know. But I was like, well, I'm not gonna, that'd be weird if I reached out to him to say what's up, right? And so like that's a good point of it too, right? Even not even necessarily gratitude, but just reaching out, be like, hey man, I was thinking about you, like, how's life? Yep. Like, that's super awkward. And it probably shouldn't be.
Well, and I think because we probably go one step further, like, oh, then we're gonna have to go for beers and hang out. And like, I don't really want to hang out. I was thinking about you. And that's okay also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a way around that, which would be, I'm gonna send you a text and say, you know what, you don't need to respond. I just wanted to let you know this, or this reminded me of this one day at 8180 back in the day, this.
Yeah.
And then but preface it with, you don't have to respond, or end it with, you don't have to respond. I was thinking this.
Yeah.
And then there's no pressure for anyone, because it could be weird for them too, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, again, when you're going through and little things, keep a calendar, and on your calendar every day, pick multiple things that were special or that made it a great day for you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're training your brain, rewiring your brain to now start noticing the little things the universe is doing. Or I was talking to Aiden, my son, who's 14. We're talking about this. He believes in God. I'm more of a universe kind of guy.
Aiden does, really? Huh.
So
is that a mom thing?
I
Or just a societal thing? You picked it up along the way?
okay,
Okay.
societal, but
Okay.
who knows? But he was saying, I said, I'm reading this book and it's amazing, and I really believe in it, and trying to coach him on a couple things. And
You're about the actual book, Law of Attraction, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need. You want to say?
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of books about Law of Attraction.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as I remember. I read The Law of Attraction and I was like, oh fuck, this sounds great. Like all I got to do is just be positive and I'll get everything I want in life. It's not, I think a lot of people read those books and because now they've got like a whole TV network and movies and everything based on it, right? To reinforce the point. And it is kind of like a religious thing. It's from what I understand, it's like it's a religious. It was started by. I don't know if I'm getting this wrong, guys. Sorry,
misinformation.
Yeah, this is what I've heard. I have no proof of this. Okay. Is that it was started as like almost like a gateway drug to religion. But so when I dealt with it, this is years ago. I was like, okay, so then all I have to do is just be like, okay, I'm going to get $1 million. I'm going to get $1 million. I'm going to eventually get $1 million. I didn't get $1 million. And I was like, oh, what the hell? And then I realized I was like, oh, so the way it's sold by some people, not everybody, the way it's sold by some people is that you just have to believe it and it will come true. That's not actually what the law of attraction is. What's your interpretation of it?
My interpretation is, so again, what I'm putting out there, I'm going to get back. So if I'm open to money coming to me, again, the universe doesn't know the difference between $20 or $2 million. So again, if $20 comes to me, am I thankful that $20 came to me?
Yeah.
And am I open to more $20 coming to me? Sure. Right. If I'm negative, like, okay, I don't want $20, like I want 2 million, like I'm negative, the negativity is out there in the universe.
That's so funny. You know what? You're the first person to talk with your hands in the studio. That's so funny. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye. I was like, what is that coming into my frame? It's your hand is like, right over my face. It's all good.
So I just, again, you're setting yourself up to be open to, like, if I'm desperate for love, there's some part of me that's doubting that I necessarily deserve it or that I'm going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like, no, I know it's coming and I'm open to it and I'm excited about this and I have a positive attitude about it, it's going to come. And I'm not, like when you're not looking for things, but you're open to it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing when best things happen. Right. And I believe that. So it was interesting because, again, back to Aiden, he was saying, well, I pray or I ask God for things and he's giving me all the things, like he's very happy in his life and all the things that he wants to happen are happening.
He's 14. I mean, Jesus. So what, I mean, you've given him a good life.
For sure. And
you should be like, don't thank God, thank me, son.
But I'm thankful again that he's happy.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
More so,
he finds comfort in it. That's great for him.
Right. And like, he's not like, hey, like, I wish we'd go away on more trips. I wish this or I wish that. Like, he's like,
he's content.
All these things and I'm thankful that I have these things.
Right. Got it. That's good.
As a parent, it makes me happy that that's how it's going. Right.
Yeah.
And that's my kind of goal.
But the one thing I want to say with a law of attraction, my interpretation of it is it's nearly comes down to positive or negative energy. It's not necessarily about what you'll get from it, but it's about, like, in terms of like specific things. Right. It's more about if you continually move in the direction of being positive, you think positive things, you wish for positive things, you do positive things, then this podcast is a great example of that, right? When I did Shit People Post, my last podcast, it was very negative, very confrontational. Like there were some great conversations on it for sure. Like the relationship podcast got me Shauna, because she went and she Googled me and she listened to the podcast about relationships and she was like, this is the guy I think I could possibly vibe with, right? Yeah. So 100%, I love that podcast. Yeah. But there was a lot of negativity on it. So when I was thinking of another podcast, because Shauna again was like, you should do a podcast. I loved your podcast. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to get negative. So she was like, do something positive. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So then I was thinking, I'm like, I've been trying intentionally for like the last decade to be better in my life, right? Because I identified a ton of flaws and I was trying to beat them. And I was like, I wonder if I did a podcast about that. I wonder if everybody's trying to do better. And then I started to realize, I'm like, yeah, everybody except for assholes are trying to be better. And my life has steadily gotten better as I do this podcast.
Right.
Little things. It's not necessarily me asking for, obviously I've had some downfall this year, right? I got really sick. I had a company, now I don't, things like that. But at the end of it, I'm now somehow, even though I got completely knocked off track, I feel like I'm in a place that is better for me, and I think that came from continually trying to move into the direction of being a person that deserves Shauna, that deserve to be a writer, that deserve to do a podcast,
right?
Because a lot of people do this just to try to make money. I didn't do this to make money. I originally did it as an outlet for therapy, and because honestly, I was always working so much. I was like, this allows me to isolate myself, to have conversations with people,
right?
Which was a big thing for me because I was getting very antisocial. And now it's like, this might actually be something. Now, it might not be something. I don't know. But I've had conversations with, like, for all you guys that don't know, for the better moments that we have with the celebrities, you might be like, who are some of these celebrities? I wanted these celebrities. Like, it's not like I'm not doing it for you guys. Sorry. I'm not like going like, I wonder who will get me the most views. I'm doing it like one episode you guys are going to see is with Eva LaRue. I used to have a poster of her. I used to watch all my children just for her. CSI Miami, I could not stand that guy with the glasses, but I love Eva LaRue, right? She was like my dream girl, my dream celebrity crush forever. So I was like, let me see if I can talk to Eva LaRue, and bang, there it was, right? And I remember with my dad, Timu Solani scoring that 76th goal, right? And just the celly and everything, and it was just like an amazing moment from my childhood. I get to talk to Timu Solani. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, that's awesome, right? So none of that would have come had I not done this podcast. The podcast would not have come if I hadn't tried to do better in my life, right? So yes, long story short, I fucking fully believe in the law of attraction.
Yeah, and
at a simple level, not at a try to get rich level.
No, and again, use it however you want to use it. If you think you're going to get rich and whatever, right? Like, ultimately, again, positivity. Let's go. I'm going to share it. And
there is the thorns again.
Sorry. This is a fun one, and all the other ones I just sat here all waiting and then just riling you up. But I believe in this, and it makes me excited.
It's good.
There's people out there. When I started looking into this, I was like, I don't even know. Like, I could write down a list of 5 things I'm thankful for, and it's Val, it's my kids.
What is your 5? What's your 5?
Oh, well, now I'm way past that, because now it's to the point where I'm like, you know what? I didn't sleep as long as I wanted to last night, but I had a great sleep, so I'm thankful for that. And I could wake up and I could think of these things, and I'm telling you now, like, all day is not shining rainbows and butterflies and shit, right? Like, shit happens.
Yeah.
But I snap out of it in 1 second, and I was always resilient. Like, you've known me for years.
Yeah.
So when I started embracing this even more, like, again, I had guys at work, and the reason I thought of this, a buddy from work came and he was like, how's your day? And I said, man, I'm having a great day. Like, I'm just thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful. And he was like, seems like that's bullshit. Like, is that actually,
of course he did. Yeah.
Right. And I said, no, like, honestly, it's me. Like, could I name 5 things I'd rather be doing? Like, do I want to play with my kids instead? 100%. But yeah, I'm doing a job I love ish. And like, it allows me to pay my bills ish. And like all that kind of stuff. And there's people that don't love their jobs, that can't pay their bills. Like I'm 10 steps above that.
Yeah.
So look at me, right? Like,
yeah. I this year, because of my condition and my medication, I found I've fallen off a bit on that, like letting like water off the duck's back kind of thing. And I have noticed that I've got a shorter fuse. Okay. And I know that's like, for example, my hair is so much thinner now because of the medication, right? It drives me crazy. And I find I can't let it go, right? So I'm like researching, like, oh, I'll go to Turkey, I'll do all these things, right? But I'm like, is it really that bad? I know that a year ago this time, I would have just been like, well, whatever, it happened, you know? But the medication screwed up my chemistry so much, and being in pain for 8 months this year, it really caused an imbalance that I'm trying to get back into. And I noticed, and not exercising and not meditating and not like, I couldn't even slip into a meditative state if I wanted to, right? I'm finally getting that back.
Nice.
Like, I've been working out for 2 weeks now again, and I've been meditating. Like, Apple Vision Pro is amazing for meditation.
Okay.
Also crazy
Doesn't
good
it
box.
kind of go against it? I've never done it. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's got like animations for breathing in, breathing out. It's got serenity around you. You can be like on a beach when you're in downtown Winnipeg, right? And you can just be laying on a beach, and it's like the sun shines for you, right? It's like it's very interesting, and it's really effective, and it's helped me get back in that train of thought. Right. So yeah, I found my gratitude's been very hard to come by this year, simply because of how fucked up the medication and the pain made me. But now that I'm getting it back, like, I'm starting to recognize it. Like, I can't remember what it was in Montana. I had a short fuse for like a minute on Shauna about something. Okay. And I was like, I felt so guilty after, because I know I wouldn't have done that last year this time. Right. And we're just a year in, right? We started dating. Well, we met in August. We started dating in September. Right. Okay. So this is fresh year. And I know that I'm different now, and it's not a good thing. So I'm trying to get back there.
And again, these are some of the things, right? And gratitude meditation is one of them, where you go through. And again, I'm not a meditator yet. That's one of the things I'd like to add to the repertoire, because I've heard great things. But
yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I have lately a hard time shutting down my brain. And so I think that would help a lot. I think it's funny. I did an exercise the other day, and it was, again, all this stuff is so weird the first time you do it, but afterwards it's so funny. Like, the feeling you get, like, I can't describe how it makes you feel, but it's a good feeling, right? And I'm driving the car, and one of the exercises, like, say thank you. And, like, think of the things you're thankful for, but, like, put it out there. Say thank you. Sorry, arms. And
I gotta fix that. That's my bad.
Driving in the car, and I probably look like a lunatic because I'm like, thank you, and I'm saying these things and thank you to nobody in my car as I commute to work. And I had the biggest smile on my face, like an idiot, and it was warm and fuzzies, like feeling good. And then I was just giggling, like it was just fun. And again, makes no sense. And a year ago, I would have been like, "You sound stupid." Like, that
yeah, of course, yeah.
But again, try it, and it's insane, right? Like, when you start concentrating on these things, it's proven that you rewire your brain. You're in pain less, all these things, right?
No, you're getting better.
Yeah.
It's on the meditation front, by the way.
Okay.
The best way I know how to, the way I got into meditation is, they say focus on your breath, but really what you have to do is you have to, at least this was for me, and I had a hard time with it too, because I have a really hard time shutting down my brain, as you know. It was like to think and to count the breath in, like consciously think about breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 1, 2, 3, and keep doing that and get as deep as you can. I guarantee you at some point you're going to feel a little high from it. And that's when you can let go and just let it do its thing. Yes. But you can't release that count and that conscious thought of your breath until you get that like tingly, cool feeling that almost feels like you're high. Okay. Because if you let go of it before that, it's like you just snap out of it. But if you let yourself get to that point, and sometimes it would take me, like in the beginning, like half an hour to get there.
Right.
But and then it was like 25 minutes, so 20, 30, 15. Now it's a little harder for me again. It's taking me about 15 minutes to do it now. But I'll tell you, before January of this year, December last year, I could slip into it in like 15 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. I could get stressed out by my staff, walk into the studio, sit down, go, and just meditate.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. So you should definitely try to get into it.
It's a goal. And then the other goal I have to add on to this, similar, like in your office, you have a vision board, right? So on your vision board, lot of great things, and it's really motivated me to want to do one. And Val and I have talked about, in our bedroom, we want to put it up, one on my side, one on her side, so that when I wake up in the morning, first thing I see my vision board and some of the things I'm thankful for and some of the things I'm soon to accomplish and all those kind of things, right?
Do you think a lot of people don't know what that is? Do you think you can handle this for a minute by yourself while I go get it? Because a lot of people actually, this reminds me, somebody asked me what a vision board is. I told them to look it up, and they said they still didn't understand. Can I go grab it?
Yeah.
I'm going to grab it. You just hang here for a second.
Yeah. I'll wait here.
Okay. Talk to the people.
Yeah. So vision board, again, his is amazing. And it's really motivated me to want to build this board with all the things that are important to me to accomplish if I haven't yet, or that I'm about to, and some of the things that I just really value in life. And generally, again, his is in his office, so I've seen it multiple times. And first time we've actually ever spoken about it, because I don't think, again, he's generally the most comfortable talking about feelings and that kind of stuff. But we're warming him up.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. I've never done that in the middle of an episode before. So I did this with Shauna, actually. We each did one. So this is my vision board. So this is a vision board. So let's go. So you can see I have what I would like for a vehicle and a motorcycle. You can see the stuff with Shauna. There's a quote about me and Shauna there. There is working on code, my dream looking office. What is that? Money in the bank. Then there is to be at peace. Then there is a bunch of quotes there around. It's around Steve Jobs' quote about the crazy ones. Then I've got. You can see. I want to do that water. The water. This one or over.
Water jet.
The water jet thing. Some more surfing, scuba diving, things like that. Sean and I going on a vacation similar to this one here when we were in California. This is essentially doing more advocacy work, doing podcasting, writing. There's a lot of stuff that I'm consciously doing. Going to more games, going to more events, all my different destinations. This right here is me at my best shape. This here is the shape I would like to be in, which is Oliver Queen from Arrow. This is couple working out. This is the thing about family. This is what the dream host would look like. There's another quote that I can't remember. What did that quote say? What he said?
My pursuit in life was once for power and dominance. Now I must never forget it evolved into peace and joy for the reasons that matter.
Okay. And then, so it works well with this episode. And then ballroom dancing. What's that there? Above the ballroom dancing?
Filming a movie.
Oh, making a movie.
Yeah.
So that's my vision board.
So again, it's things you've accomplished, things you want to accomplish, things that motivate you, things that remind you. Like, again, gratitude's tied right into it.
Yep.
So again, it's all things that you do, but you don't consciously necessarily know. And again, law of attraction is part of it, right? You're putting it out there that it's coming to you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's all great. And again, I think this episode's made me more excited. And like, I have a bigger smile from this episode than any of our others, because we got something.
Two-tier healthcare and UBI didn't make you smile?
Again, fun to rile you up always. However, this again.
I don't even have you on the screen. Boom.
If somebody was going to take something away, it's again, you can make it small differences by just doing these little things, and it'll all add up into a big change.
Yeah. I like this. This is a good one. Gratitude.
So you agree?
We agree. We agreed on both.
Yes.
Both parts, making the internet better and making your life better through gratitude. I'm trying to think of on my list right now. I've actually, you know what? It's funny. I look at the board every day, but I don't really look at the board every day. You know what I mean? Okay. And in doing this right now, I realized there's actually a few things on here I've done, despite everything that happened to me. You see in the top right what the vehicle was, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you should come grab one for a bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I would love to.
I work at a car dealership, and we have nice things sometimes.
Can you export vehicles to people? Like, do they have to live in Winnipeg?
Like, where are we exporting it to?
No, like, say somebody's watching from Calgary, and they're like, I like that Chris guy. I want to buy a car from him just to help him out.
Yeah, but this isn't about business. This is about, again.
Yeah, no, but that's maybe they're grateful that you were on the podcast.
If you find me, I'll help you out.
Okay.
This is just fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but I just realized I've actually done quite a few things on there. Not everything, because half the stuff I can't do right now. But like if I tried to do that water surfing thing, I'd kill myself right now. Like my leg would break into a million pieces. That wouldn't be good. But yeah, no, I'm
challenge for you. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Next time that we talk will be, did you send a text or give somebody a phone call to say, I appreciate you? And then let's see if you get out of your comfort zone and how great of a feeling that's going to be for you.
You know, I had to, so Preston took a spill the other day on his rollerblades, like a really bad one. He's got scrapes all over his face, his arms, his shoulder and everything, you know, like really pretty messed up. And I remember, so I texted him and I was like, hey, like if you need anything, let me know. Been there, done that, like getting into crazy accidents, you know? And I remember as I was sending it, it's something I wouldn't normally do. And I was like super uncomfortable when I did it, but I did it. And I was like, okay, I did it. Nobody died. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think I'm trying to be, because, you know, I'm not a kids guy, but I'm trying to be better with her kids.
Okay.
So maybe that's where I'll put this effort.
Yeah, and again, as long as it's genuine, and I'm not saying it's not.
Right? Yeah.
Like, as long as you understand.
It's been on my mind.
Yeah. So if it's something's on your mind, pull the trigger instead of filing it at the back of your mind. I guess that's the point, right? Tell the person, I appreciate you. Tell somebody you're thankful. Hey, give somebody a compliment that you normally wouldn't, right? And again, very weird and uncomfortable because we're not used to it. Walk down the street. This is insane. I'll walk down around my neighborhood. We live on a lake. I walk around the lake. If I see people, I say, hello.
They totally
There's
freak
people
out,
that
right?
are like,
yeah,
who the fuck's this saying hello to me? And then there's other people that are like, hi. And they get excited. Like people crave, right? Like being part of a community, people crave one-on-one.
No, that's true. When we're in Montana, everybody says hi to each other and everything. And one thing that Sean and I kept saying, like, wow, I wish Winnipeg was like this. Yeah. You know, because like, I've said hi to people because I used to live in Sanford, and in Sanford you wave and you say hi to everybody. I remember when I moved back into the city after living in Sanford for several years, and the first few people I saw, just out of instinct, I was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, just mean mugging me, right?
Imagine
if everybody had that mentality.
100%.
Totally different world.
Or one step further, like if your goal, I used to say to the kids, today your goal, make one person smile, like say something nice to somebody, right? And like not because you want anything, and it cannot be because you want something, because then now you're just being an asshole, right? Like it has to be like, you know what, I like your shirt today, and someone is gonna be so happy that you recognize something good, because everyone's gonna be like, you look like a retard today, and someone's gonna be sad and whatever, and that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, so there you go, guys. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
That's it. You went through all those notes?
It was all kind of reminders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. So what is the homework from this episode to be better? It's to just say something nice to somebody, send a text to somebody, and make a phone call to somebody.
Yeah, and keep a gratitude list every day. Just little things. So it's going to train your brain. Let's stop thinking of, oh, tell me about some of the craziness of your day. Tell me one of the things that made you smile today. What did you recognize? What did you see? And then you're going to start looking for those things and seeing them more often.
And be prepared for people to be like, you're fucking weird.
But embrace it.
Yeah, but embrace it. Yeah, no, I because I know, like, if I were to say to Sterling and Preston, be like, what's one thing that you're happy for today or you're grateful for? They'd be like, the hell, loser, you know? Right. But as I don't believe you should tell your kids that Santa Claus is real, there's also the fact of, if you were to do this on a regular basis, eventually it would be normal to them. What is going on with the camera? I think there's something really weird going on with the camera. I seem to notice like this flash every so often.
I think.
Is there a ghost in here?
I went to the gym yesterday, so you might notice that I'm.
Oh, the gun shows out?
Yeah.
Every so often you're popping muscle. It's coming into my frame. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
I could have sworn, like, unless I'm imagining it.
Moving this in the count.
No, because there's no camera on the table or on the walls. Oops. Look at that, spilling all over. Oh, no. Actually, I didn't spill anything. Perfect. Okay, so guys, that is the homework.
at the end of the day, it's a muscle, right?
Yes.
Basically, and
Like his biceps.
You've never used it,
Yeah.
so it's gonna feel weird and it's gonna be tough to do. But the more you do it, then the bigger your muscle gets, easier it is.
There you go. Are you hitting the gym, by the way?
I went literally once yesterday. So today I feel like $1,000,000. I'm pretty sure
You always do after that first day. Yeah. You're like, I rule. I'm amazing. All right, guys. So that is it. That is all for this episode of Better. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Please throw some gratitude out in the world for this podcast. And you know what? I literally try to get to every like, every comment, every share, everything. So we'll rap about some stuff and we'll probably make each other's lives better by just having the conversation. All right. So do all that, make the world a better place by spreading this Better podcast and bringing gratitude into people's lives. Betterpodcast.live. That's our website. Go to it, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, whether on iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever. The links are all there. You can see everything and you can subscribe to whatever you need to. If you're watching us on YouTube, because that's the only video platform we're Spotify video now. That's right. This requires a lot of work. All I ask is that if you get something out of it, spread the love. Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in to Better. Do better, be better, make the world a better place. I will see you guys on another episode.
Thanks for checking out Better. If you got to the end, it must mean you liked the episode, right? So how about 5 stars, maybe a sub, maybe a share, great universal comment points, and good luck on your better journey.